Welcome to But I'm a Lesbian, the podcast where we serve all baddie sass, queer film reviews, and everything in between. Whether you're a baby gay
or a queer elder, we're here, we're queer, and we're diving deep into all things lesbian. We're your hosts, Caitlin
and Angelina.
Get ready for some sapphic serotonin. So, on today's episode, we are discussing the 2024 film. It's an Apple TV film, which I just found out. I thought it was in theaters, and when I was looking for it, I realized it's just an Apple TV. But it's still really good. That doesn't mean anything about the quality. It's called Fancy Dance. It stars Lily Gladstone as a lesbian caring for her niece and searching for her missing sister.
So, have you seen this movie before, Caitlin?
Yes. I watch, you know what? I watch everything that has Lily Gladstone in it except the most popular movie that they've been in, which is The Killers of the Flower Moon. Oh, yeah. But that's because I don't...
Do you hate Leonardo DiCaprio?
Okay. I loved him in Titanic when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I think because he kind of looked like a little masked lesbian. He had like the Justin Bieber vibe going on.
Yeah.
And then when he got older, he got like that fat man head. I hate that. And like John Travolta has it. And I was like, ugh. And then he's so gross because he keeps dating
25-year-olds.
Under 25-year-olds. But I read somewhere that that's to cover up that he's gay. Did you read that?
I did hear about that. I've also heard about John Travolta. And if that's true.
John Travolta's gay?
Yeah. There was like a whole thing. I remember it like coming out and they were like saying that they had like a film of him somewhere like having sex with a man in a shower. I remember reading that and my mom was like, maybe let's not. Because I was like, oh.
Wait, were you a child?
I was like, sex with a man? She's like, yes, but also you can't see sex because you're a child.
Oh my God. Okay.
I was like, yes, we love that.
That reminds me that one time I used to read my mom's Cosmos and I would like hide that I was reading them, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I was like 10 maybe, and we were like flipping through channels and there were people like doing it. And it showed you on the bottom like what the thing was called, and it was called something. I don't remember what it was called. I want to say it had to do with stilettos. Like it was like, now it sounds like it was a porn. I don't know if it was. But I said something like, because I had read this term in Cosmo. So I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It looks like they're doing the mattress mambo. Because I read it in Cosmo. It said like, next time you're doing the mattress mambo,
you're like,
try these new moves. And my mom was laughing so hard. And she's like, where did you hear that? And I didn't want to tell her because then that would say that I was reading her Cosmos. So I was like, I just made it up. I don't know.
You're like, I'm so clever.
She probably thinks I'm so clever still because of that. Anywho, I didn't watch it because of Leonardo DiCaprio. I just feel like he's not, all the movies he picks are not movies that I'm into. Like
they're like action or like,
yeah, I hate action movies.
I love action movies.
Oh,
but
sorry.
not all of them. So
sometimes I'll watch action movies, but only if they're like they center on a woman or Jason Statham. I don't know why. I like that actually balding so man.
Yeah,
and I like his accent, and I think he's really good at acting.
Did you see that movie he made where it's like
The Nuns?
Huh? The Nuns?
He made one with nuns.
No, there was this one, and he's a like police detective, and he works with this guy that everyone like hates at the police station, and they make fun of him because he's gay. But he's like, I don't give a fuck, and they're like, are you gay? And he's like, fuck you, like let's just solve this murder, and he doesn't care. And like I guess it was like nice because everyone else was like bullying him, and they like developed like a close friendship. And he's just like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like I'm on my own thing right now.
Okay, I feel like I might have seen it.
It was a good movie.
I have one more thing to say before I forget. Before we go into our other little topic that we were going to talk about, I just want to say that I think pretty much all celebrities are bi. And I think the same thing about vampires. Because vampires, you're going to live forever. You got to fuck everybody. Like, they can't just limit themselves to one gender, right? Like, they're living for years. They will fuck everybody.
But if you were a vampire, Would
I
you
don't
still?
think I would.
Exactly.
I mean,
see, we need lesbian vampires.
That's true. But at least all the boy vampires, they're all bi. And that has been proven to me by Interview with the Vampire and True Blood, because Eric Northman, he was fucking dudes. And I think so was Vampire Bill.
Yeah, he was.
Because I think, didn't they have a sex scene together?
They did have a scene together, but then they also had that one like weird scene where like Suki was like having sex with like both of them kind of in her dream.
Oh, because she was dreaming.
Yeah, she was like, because that was after he like drank her blood, and she was just like having those dreams. She's like, oh my God.
I love True Blood. If anybody out there has not seen True Blood, you should watch it. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix now.
It's on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay, watch it. It's really good. Anywho, yeah, they're all bi, is my point, because they're rich and they can get whoever they want. So they're like, let me just try it. Like, even if they aren't like actually bi, I think they'd be like experimenting.
They have to. Like, how can you be alive for that long and not like be like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just do it, right?
Try it out.
Yeah.
Anywho, I wanted to say that, or I wanted to ask, because part of this movie involves a road trip. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about road trips. So what is the longest road trip you've taken? Or it could also be like the most fun road trip. And who was it with?
The longest one would have to be last year. I think when I told you, my sister and I, we drove to Texas.
Oh my God.
It was very long. It was really hot. Overall, I think it was nice because I had never driven out of state before, let alone like go through any of those states other than like passing over like when you're on a plane.
Yeah.
So I thought it was fun. A crazy experience, I think, because we were by ourselves and we were also like, oh my God. But it was nice. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then I want to say the one I had the most fun was when we went to Portland, when I went with Yami.
Aww.
It was like really nice because we were just like, oh my God, we get to explore. I felt like, I don't know, it's so stupid. Even though I'm an adult, I was like, yay, I get to do what I want, even though I can do that right now.
Okay, but like, were you a little scared? Because you had to drive through a lot of towns that I would think are
Portland or Texas? Oh, Texas?
Both. But I was thinking when you were driving through like Northern California, I was like, I'm a little scared for them because these are giving sundown town energy. Like they're going to be racist and homophobic. I don't know.
Thankfully, we didn't. We only stopped in Redding to get Denny's.
It's a little scary.
And
but at least
in that
it's like
area, it was fine. Like it was
town.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't like, we tried not to stop so much. We stopped at one place to get gas and I forgot even where that was. But that was actually before we had, I think after we passed Paso Robles. So it was like somewhere there we stopped, we put gas. But it wasn't too bad because we're like, let's just fill up now. But driving through to Texas and those, yes, definitely. There was like a lot of places where it's just like you see in movies, you know? And like I was like, if we stop and there are people, I feel like we're gonna get murdered or something.
Yeah, like scary.
Yeah, and I told you we stayed in that hotel that literally just had a truck stop and the hotel, and there was like nothing for like miles. And I was like, oh my God. But it was kind of okay because there were other people traveling.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, our huge family full of men are with us. I'm like,
that's what we always do.
We were making up names. I was like, Adam and Max are in the back. Like, they're just getting the bags. Yeah. I was like, let's check out these rooms.
Yeah, we'll just check out the rooms while the guys are out there.
I'm like doing the hard labor. We're just going to do something fun.
That's so funny. That reminds me of, there was like this bit that Fortune Feimster would talk about when she and her wife got married and they had a layover in like a really homophobic country or something. And they were like, this is my cousin and we're just waiting for our husbands. Our husbands are coming later or whatever. I'm like, oh no, that's so funny. But I do feel like my wife and I don't really like do that, but we do always, she's always like, your dad's back at the room, right? Or now that we're like older, we're like, oh, they might think our dad is like a feeble old man. So we'll be like your brother.
Yeah, brother.
You know, like,
or, say like,
something so that they're like, oh, there's like a young, tough man there, which is really sad. But I'm sure that those of you that, there, a lot of you that are listening can probably relate to that, to be honest, because it's like a true thing.
It is. Like, even if you're not gay, like, just in general, as, like, you could be a straight woman. Yeah, just being a woman, you're, like, oh, it's like scary traveling alone. That's why there's so many tips and tricks, like the chair at the door and like checking everywhere, which we did. We were like under the bed, like, is there anybody here? I was like, that may sound crazy, but like, I guess you never know, right?
Yeah. One time we went to 7-Eleven after, we went to see Alana Glazer in Monterey. It was like, I think her first stand-up tour. I don't think I don't think she'd really done stand-up tours before that. Okay, yeah, and this was like a year or so ago. I don't know. I could have made that up. But anyway, we really had to pee. And we went to 7-Eleven and there, Wa was like, that's my wife, Wa. Juanita Iriarte, our creative director. She was like, I think there's a camera in here. It looks really weird. I'm not going to pee. And then we left and then we held it all the way back home for like
you
hours.
Didn't stop at another
probably like could have given ourselves a UTI. But it was like 2 a.m. and it was scary. Everywhere we were like around, we were like, ooh, weird, creepy, isolated. Like, no. So we were both like, dying.
You both were like, no.
What is that saying? It's like my eyes were floating, something like that. My teeth are floating, I think. Yeah. But my eyes were floating. That's how much I had to pee. It was even higher. Have you heard that?
I've never.
Because like you have to pee so much that like the pee is like
it's like rising. It's
rising. Your mouth. It's gross. Accidental golden shower.
I love the eyes and the teeth. Well, I imagine that's what it must feel like.
Anyway.
Wait, what's your road trip?
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a cool road trip story, but when my wife and I were like first dating in like 2012, my grandma got married and my grandma lives near Reno and she really wanted us to come. I was like in the wedding. I was like one of the bridesmaids. And so we drove there and that's like really far. I mean, not as far as like Portland. It was like,
but it's still pretty like far. Did you go
like 8 or 9 hours or something? Yeah. Same when we go to Vegas. My other grandma lives in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Apparently, my grandma's love Nevada. I don't know. But Vegas takes like 7 hours. And we've had good trips. We had a terrible trip the last time we drove to Vegas. Mm-hmm. I think it was the last time. It was in like 2021. Mm-hmm. Our car broke down in the middle of nowhere. Luckily, it was daytime, but it was like 100 and something degrees. So in that way, it wasn't lucky. And AAA like couldn't find us. And we were waiting on the side of the road for hours, like hours and hours till they finally found us. Oh my God. And then luckily I have AAA because my dad pays for it. And it's the one where you get 1 up to 200 mile tow a year. Yeah. Yeah. Because we were like 100 and something miles from Vegas. So they just towed the car all the way to Vegas. It was 4th of July weekend. So like most of the shops were closed. And then we found like one of those like not a Jiffy Lube, but something like a chain one. Yeah. And it was open. And so then we had the car towed there. And anyway, it turned out that the car was totaled. So then we had to buy a new car to drive back. But my grandma, she is very much like, she has this very dominant energy. Like my wife always thought she was like 5'10", but she's like 5'5", but she gives off this like, I'm the boss here. So she went with us to get the car.
Oh, she got you a good deal, huh?
Yes. So that was really helpful because she was like, you can't go any lower than that.
She's like, really?
Are you sure? I know you can't. And so it was actually, that was like, yeah, my first like new-ish car buying experience. The first time I had a car where I had like financing. And yeah, we did like 0 down.
Wow.
And I didn't even know that was a thing. And my grandma's like, yeah, that's a thing. I'm going to tell them you have 0 to put down. And yeah, that was our car. We named it Barbara after my grandma.
Oh.
But then I totaled it like 2 years later. It was sad. Oh. The car that broke down on the way to Vegas was named Rita after my other grandma. Oh. And then the car that we have now is not named after a grandma. It's just named Pearl.
Oh, that's cute.
Because the color is pearl white. And we were like, yeah.
You're like, yay.
Anyway, we have to talk about our hot takes or burning desires. Yes. Okay, I almost forgot because I was so excited talking about road trips. Okay, so do you know what yours is? Because I can't even remember mine. I got to find it.
I didn't remember at first, but then I looked through my notes and I remembered. But I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't know. I feel like it's a very weak one this time around, but you know.
That's why I didn't want it to always have to be a hot take. Because sometimes We
I
just
guess
agree
this could
with
be
the
my
stuff.
burning desire. I
Yes,
wanted it to be more
exactly.
gay, but I also understand why
Sorry.
because it had a very important message. So
Yeah.
I was like, this will take a backseat. The gayness will take a backseat.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
put this on here because I really liked it and I thought it had a good message, and everyone I've talked to about this movie has not seen it, and I think it needs more attention. And I felt like it fit because part of the reason I originally watched it the first time is because Lily Gladstone was in it and played a lesbian. So I was like, yeah.
You're like,
And
hell yeah.
the gayness is not the center of the story, but
It's like a bonus. but-
sometimes that's great because it's just like regular life, and this person happens to be gay.
Yes.
And also really, really hot, I think.
She is really fucking hot in this. Like,
I
she's
know.
hot in general, but like this movie, this was a very good
I know.
recommendation by you.
Yeah.
So
You're welcome. The like scene where she was getting a lap dance, I was
I
like,
know.
oh,
She's like,
I'm feeling
okay.
something. Why do I feel like this?
You're like, oh my god. It was so hot. And
I
she's like,
know.
I'll give you this money because I respect you. And
Yeah,
I was like,
and it
oh
makes
my,
my
God.
intentions clear, which
Yeah.
I'll talk about that later, but I felt like she was saying because I don't want a real relationship with you. Okay.
That's true.
Anyway, what I said was really just that it's super relevant to like what's happening right now, like
Yeah.
in the US, because I put it's very relevant to many bootlicker situations, like ICE is just following orders, like people love to
Yeah.
say, or like the videos I've seen on TikTok of people like clapping for ICE, like, oh my God, they're just
Like,
doing
they
their
did it.
job.
Oh
And
my
it's like,
God.
ew,
No.
why are you like this?
Yeah.
And it also, I'll talk about it later, but they talk about historical things that have happened, and it's, structural racism, systemic racism, like things that have been going on forever, and people are still suffering from it. And it's just another example of how people sometimes, I hear people say things like racism is over, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
That is an insane
it's not
take.
over.
That's like
yeah, that's like not hot take. That's an
not a
ice
hot.
take.
Yeah.
It's ice cold take. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like that take. But people say things like that, and I think this is just an example of how they're on a reservation. You see that the reservation is like very poor. This is from years and years ago when white people, colonizers, took over, and then they just put the native people of the land on these
like a little
small
area. They're like, this is your
or
area.
these areas that are
okay?
usually like not good land, like not like easily like farmable type of like land. They're like, oh, we don't care about this land. We'll put these
Just
people
put them
It's,
there.
like,
We
so
don't know what to
fucked
do with
up.
them. Like, just go
Yeah.
there.
So I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my little burning desire. So coming up next, we're going to dive deeper into the actual recap. But right now it's time for a break. So don't go too far. It's just enough time to shoot a text to your long distance situationship if you've got one.
Welcome back to But I'm a Lesbian. This week we are discussing the Apple TV film Fancy Dance.
Yes. Okay. So I am really excited about this. So we open on hot butch Lily Gladstone. Her name is Jax in this, but we don't even know that yet, but we're going to know it. I don't like the name Jax because it makes me think
Why? Oh, from
Jax Taylor from
yeah.
Vanderpump Rules.
Oh.
What? Who do you think of?
What is that one show called? Not the Mayans, but the other one.
Oh, the Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
I don't watch that. Too many men. No, I'm like, but Vanderpump Rules is fine. But that's because Stassi was on it, and Sheena and Lala. I really like Vanderpump Rules. If anyone wants to talk about it, the DMs are open. We could talk about Vanderpump Rules for days.
DM Caitlin for all Vanderpump Rules
and the Valley, because I
inquiries.
watched that too now. Anyway, so Jax is metal detecting and smoking, and her like 12-ish, 13-ish aged niece is getting something out of the water. I think they're like crawfish or something.
Yeah, I want to say they are.
And then we see them talking to each other, but we don't know what they're saying because they are speaking in their native language and there's no subtitles. But basically, I think what we're supposed to figure out is that what they were saying was they were making a plan to distract this guy and steal his truck. So, Jax uses her feminine wiles to distract this man that's fishing. She like takes off her shirt and is like, doesn't she like put the shirt in the water?
She puts the shirt in there. She's like going like that.
This, like, oh, it's so hot.
She's
and like the man is like,
he's like, oh my God.
You know how men are. And then the niece goes and steals his keys. And then they steal his truck and they put their bikes in the back of it. And they take it to this like, it's like a shop, but it's like also like an auto salvage place. And I think it's like on the reservation. They know the guy really well. Yeah. The guy I don't think we find out yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, that guy is also a drug dealer. He's into shady shit. The guy that runs this salvage place, but I don't remember his name. He's an asshole. I thought
it was like not Moo, something else. Because I know it was just like a nickname that they gave him.
Okay, well.
But I don't remember. The shady guy.
Bad guy. That's what we know. So she's like, hey, how much can I get for like this stuff that I found and the truck, right?
Yeah.
For parts or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he is like, I don't know. He gives her some money. While they go to the back to like discuss it, the niece is shoplifting like a candy necklace and just like little things. Anyway, so we see that the niece, her name is Roki. I'm pronouncing it right?
Yeah,
they
Roki.
said Roki. Okay.
Yeah.
I call my cat Rookie. So I kept wanting to say Rookie. And I don't know where it came from. His name is Atiki Badu Rookie. That's what I sing to him. So I was like, Rookie, like my boy, Atticus. Anyway, so she sees a missing flyer for a woman and she looks sad. So then we're going to find out that that is her mom that's missing. So her mom is, her name is Towie. She has been missing for a while. And while she's been missing, she's been staying with her aunt, Jax. And so they're riding home and then they are counting money for what they got from today. And Roki is trying to save money to get powwow tickets for herself and her mom, which is like really sad because we know the mom is missing, but she's like convinced her mom is going to be back.
Yeah, she's like, she's never missed the powwow.
Or she's going to meet her at the powwow. So at this powwow, her and her mom always participate in the mother-daughter dance. And I guess they're like champions of it. Yeah. They're like the reigning champions. So she's like, there's no way that my mom is going to miss this. So then while they're just enjoying their life, CPS shows up at the door and they want to talk to Jax and they're like, okay, so your sister is missing, so Roki's staying with you. You got to fill out these forms in order to basically become like a foster parent for her. And she's like, okay. So this is interesting. I will talk about it later because I want to talk about the Indian Child Welfare Act in our little history segment later, just because it's really relevant to this. But I used to work in child welfare, so I kind of have background knowledge of this. So this was another reason that I found this movie so interesting, just to see it from another side, not the side of the person working, you know, the people affected. And it is really hard. And there's a lot of secondary trauma that comes with working in that type of job, but it's not as bad as the firsthand trauma of the people that are, you know, the kids that are being taken away from their parents or potentially their other family members. So it's really hard. So later that night, Jax goes to the strip club to meet her very special friend, Sapphire. And she's a dancer there. And I wrote, apparently she's not her actual girlfriend because Jax insists on paying her to make her intentions clear.
Yeah.
So I think that the point was, she's like, I'm not ready for a relationship.
But she likes her.
I'm going to pay
She's
you.
like,
Because the girl was
yeah.
like, you don't have to pay me. Like,
she's like, you don't. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
doing this here. And she's like, I actually do. Because,
Yeah.
like, let's not get it
Yeah.
twisted.
Yeah.
But
I was into it. Anyway, so I guess the dancer, Sapphire, is friends, and she's also a coworker of the missing sister, Towie. So I guess Towie also worked there.
Yeah.
And so some of the men at the club start making jokes about the missing posters, which is like, why would you joke about someone being missing? Like,
yeah.
but
Because
isn't
they're
it
men
like,
and they're
it's like a
gross.
bunch of, I can't remember for sure, but there's like a bunch of like non-native people, like white guys that live like in like these trailers, like because they're working somewhere in the area, and it's a bunch of them. So I was like,
yeah.
They're joking about it because they don't care about women, but also it's giving also racist.
Yeah.
Jax starts talking to who I find out later is her brother. I was
her
like,
half brother. Yeah.
Okay. So JJ, and he works for the tribal police, and he confirms that nothing is happening in the case. That they have no leads on finding Towie. And so Roki's at home during this time. They show her trying on her mom's clothes and watching powwow videos and practicing. So also still so sad, right?
I know.
Because she's missing her mom. So later we see that JJ helps Jax home, like literally like carries her basically to the couch.
So
she's,
fucking
like,
wasted.
So I feel like that's to show that she's like struggling a lot, right?
Yeah.
Internally, or also that she likes to get fucked up. I don't know what they're showing. And then in the morning, Roki is making her mom's costume. So she's like sewing it. And Jax calls the police to try to get more info. Are there any updates? Blah, blah, blah. And she gets the runaround. So then the grandpa comes to visit. The grandpa of Roki. So he is Jax and Towie's dad. He is white. This is important to the story. He comes to visit with his new wife, and he mentions that Towie and Roki are the reigning champions at the Oklahoma City competition. Grandpa, I kept calling him Grandpa through this, and then I found out later his name is Frank. So
you're like, oh, Frank.
I was like, Grandpa. So Frank and his wife Nancy brought a necklace for Roki, and then Grandpa Frank tells Jax he's worried about Towie, but he hasn't been at any of the searches. So she's like, oh, you really care that much? Yeah. And we learned that he used to live on the res when the mom was alive, but when the mom died, he left. And Jax says, basically, can you call the FBI and put pressure on them? And he's like, why don't you just call? And she's like, they don't listen to me because I am a woman and I am a Native American. Like, you need to call white man and put pressure on them. And so at some point we sort of find out that he's not JJ's dad, which I think you already kind of established because you were like her half brother. Yeah. So
I didn't know that either. I was like, oh, okay. And then that's when they were like, oh, he's like your brother, JJ. And she's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting that, like, you know,
But it is weird because he doesn't seem that worried about his daughter. But it also feels like they have a strained relationship.
Yeah, I put like troubled relationship. You can tell because they were just like, he's like, let's just not get into it. And she's like, okay, like you basically abandoned us after like our mom died. And then he's just like, do you really think it's like serious this time? And she's like, yes. And he's like, okay, I'll make a call.
Yes. Okay, so then later that night, Jax and Roki go to a search, and it seems like they've been searching like constantly, like all the time. They're doing searches.
I found out his name is Boo.
Who's
the guy,
Boo?
the shady guy.
Oh.
Boo. I said Moo. I'm so sorry. It's Boo, not Moo.
Moo.
I don't know. I crossed it out for some reason. I guess it wasn't that Moo.
Well, when I think of Boo, you haven't seen this, but I think of Big Boo from Orange is the New Black, Leah Delaria, who, I'm going to tell the truth. I am attracted to her. I think I'm attracted to any, like, Big Butch.
She's hot as fuck. Yeah. I see her. I see
she
her
could
around.
Be my prison wife. I mean, I was into Alex Voss also, but she turns out to be kind of a cunt. I don't know. I also have some issues with Boo because of this one thing with the guard dog. She was like training a dog, and then she was creepy towards the dog, and I was like,
wait, what do you?
I just remember I hated her because of that. So let's pretend that never happened.
You're like, let's just block
I'm really
that out.
offended. Okay, so anyway. I also wanted to note that the reservation that they're on is the Seneca Cayuga reservation.
Yeah.
And so they go to this search. They don't find her. They don't find anything. And then they get home and they see that there's a cop car in the driveway of Jax's house. And they're like, oh my God, has she been found? So like Jax runs in and she sees JJ and she's like, have they found her? Did they find Towie? And he's like, no. And then she sees the CPS lady, the Child Protection Services lady. And she's like, we had to take Roki. She's being removed from you and placed with her grandpa. This is because Jax has some stuff on her background check.
Yeah. Didn't she like go to jail, right?
Yeah. It was like for drugs. Like she was dealing drugs at some point. So that's also makes sense why she knows Boo so well, because they probably dealt drugs together back in the day. So they are like, we have to take her. There's going to be a court hearing in 2 weeks. And also we're mad because there's weed and alcohol in your home. So you extra can't have her. Yeah. And she's like, well, what the hell? Like, you're not supposed to place Indian kids with people outside of their tribe, and you have to place them with family. And they're like, well, he is family. Yeah. And so that's like where it's kind of shitty, because he is family, but he's not connected to like their culture. He like left that as soon as the mom died. And so Jax goes to talk to like her friend that is a lawyer, which I didn't really get their name. I think it might be Ricky, but I wasn't sure. And she suggests like, you need to go off of the reservation and get a lawyer to help, but it's going to be expensive AF. And she's like, I don't have the money for that. And so the friend is like, the lawyer friend is like, well, you probably need to make nice with your dad, and he needs to help you. And so she tries to do that. She goes to dinner and they tell her like, hey, you're not allowed to be with Roki unsupervised. Yeah. So you can't take her to the powwow, and we can't take her to the powwow because we have other stuff going on or whatever. And that's like really fucked up, because he knows that that's so important to her. So it's like, oh my God, like the step grandma Nancy says like, what's really important that we keep you connected to your culture. And it's like, oh,
but also you can't do the most important thing that you want to do.
I was like, what the fuck? So that made me mad. And so obviously Roki's really sad. And then Jax goes to visit Sapphire, and Sapphire tells her, I overheard from, heard it through the grapevine that Towie had been hanging out with the oil workers. That's what they do. They work with oil. I was like, they do some kind of job.
You're like, they're working.
They're a bunch of men. I don't like them. They live in RVs on this property.
And they made insensitive jokes.
Yes, like men, fuck these guys. So, I guess she had been seen hanging out with some of the oil workers at the RV man camps. I think they called them man camps. And I was like, it sounds like a terrible place to be.
Honestly,
I would never want to be there. And so then we see at the grandpa's house, Grandpa Frank, Nancy's trying to connect with Roki, and she like gives her ballet shoes and is like, oh, I signed you up for dance because I know you love dancing.
She's like,
and
not
she's
the
like,
same thing.
That's not like, I don't do ballet. And she's like, yeah, but like you love to dance at the powwows. So it's kind of like sad, because you see she's trying, but also she really doesn't get it, because what Roki is saying is like, you don't understand. Like, it's not just a dance. It's about it's about us being together, and like it's like a special connection with my mom. Like, and she's like, well, when did you like learn the moves? And she's like, I just feel like I've always known them, because it's something we've always done. Yeah. Why am I crying about it? I just
because
was like,
it's
I felt
sad.
so sad that she like misses her mom, and then they took her away from her aunt,
and then she can't do the powwow.
She doesn't even really know. Like, I don't think they mention it, but it doesn't seem like the grandpa has visited that much either.
No.
Like, so it's like she doesn't even know him. And so then we see Jax goes to Boo, the dealer, and she's like, hey, I need to sell drugs to make some money. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll give you some. You have to go to the man camps to sell. So she asks him about Towie. He's like, not helpful. She goes to this RV to sell the drugs to these men, and they're super creepy and aggressive, and they basically like offer her to pay for sex.
Yeah, he's like, you can make more more money if you stay
yeah,
here.
like stay here. You want to
She's
like
like,
party
no.
with us?
She's like,
"Oh,
ew.
what the fuck?" But this is just like an example.
Yeah.
Like we see, like this was very dangerous for her sister to have been doing this
Yeah.
because these men were super creepy towards her, and she's like pretty obviously like a lesbian.
Yeah.
So imagine how creepy
Like
they
Tawi,
probably were
yeah.
towards her sister, who
Yeah.
is like more like feminine and is like a
Mhm.
dancer. They probably they probably thought that they are entitled to her body
Yeah.
because they've seen her at the club.
Mhm.
And then whatever, this guy freaks out, thinks she has a wire. It's like weird, but she gets out of there. And as she like leaves, one of the guys comes out, one of the other guys that's not so aggressive, and he
Mhm.
says, "Hey, I just want to tell you, I've seen your sister selling at the camps before she disappeared." And so she's like, huh. So then Jax talks to JJ and she's like, did you know that Towie was selling drugs? And he's like, well, I couldn't tell you because it's an open investigation. So she's like, what the fuck?
She's
You
like,
didn't
why
tell
would you
me."
not tell me?
Yeah.
Like, I should be the first person to know.
Yes. Okay. And then Jax goes to Grandpa Frank's house and breaks Roki out so that they can go to the powwow together. And so they steal Grandpa's car, and Jax leaves a note that I don't even remember what she said. Basically,
I don't
like,
remember what she
at
said
the powwow, be back in a few days, something like that.
It's like, oh, cool.
Yes. And so then they're at a gas station. Roki goes into the gas station and she sees on the news that she's an Amber Alert.
Yes.
And Jax is put as her kidnapper. So both their
yeah.
pictures are like on the news.
Yeah, I
What
was
were you
gonna
gonna
say
say?
before that, I put
Oh, no.
like as a reminder, Nancy's annoying, but because like literally just a sentence, Nancy's annoying.
Yeah.
But because Frank does not want, even though he's like a shitty father, like very
Yeah.
absent, he does not want to call and report that Roki and that Jax took Roki.
Oh, yeah.
And Nancy's like, it's in our responsibility. Like we signed this and we have to. And she convinces him.
Yes. And this is where part of what I was talking about, like the bootlicker thing where it's like, well, we're just doing our jobs. We're just following what the system says. And it's like, that's his daughter. Like he himself knows that Roki is safe with Jax.
Yeah.
But he let his stupid bitch wife convince him to call and report her as a kidnapper. And this is somebody that also already has a record. So it's like, okay, so she's gonna like go back to prison.
She's
like,
gonna do that time again. And like, why would you do that? And he knows. He even said, he's like, they'll be back. Like, I know that she's gonna bring her back. I know where they're going.
Yeah, I know
it's not
where
like they
they're
ran
going.
away forever. Like,
yeah, that did make me mad. Thank you for mentioning that. So after Roki sees that they're on the news, she like rushes back to the car and she's acting kind of weird, but she doesn't want to tell Jax what happens. And then they go to a makeup counter to get a lipstick for Towie, which is like so sad because they're like, you know, we have to give this to her when we see her because she's going to be at the powwow.
And she was like, what? She doesn't know what shade exactly. She's like trying on shades. I think, doesn't Jax let her like try
Jax try the shades on because she probably has like similar colors.
And she's like, oh yeah, it's that color. I'm like,
yes. And it's like, oh, she shows the lady at the makeup counter the missing poster picture of her mom.
And the lady was like, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that part. But it was like
so sad. The lady then is like, okay, I know just the one. You
she's
know,
like, I got
to help
you.
her. Yeah. And so anyway, then they get the lipstick, and then I think Roki steals a woman's keys and wallet so that they can take her car. So that's like at the mall. And then she also is like, oh my God, this lady has a gun. And she takes it, but she doesn't tell Jax about it. She just like
slips
secretly
it in her,
has a gun. And so they drive in the new car to a house, and Jax knocks on the door and is like, I'm Towie's sister, and they let her in. And this older woman tells Jax that Towie owes her money. So like if I knew where she was, I would be the one like finding her basically because she owes me money. You can tell that this is a drug house because the other people are in the background and they're like they have like bricks of drugs or whatever. They're like measuring stuff. And so that older lady that she's talking to is like the boss lady, and she's mad because she's like, why the fuck would you come to my house?
She's like, do you like
the
tell
cops
your
are
sister?
after you? Yeah. She's like, the cops are after you. Why would you stop at my house? Now the cops are gonna come to my house. So then I think this might be Roki's grandma, but I don't know. They said something about like her son. The old lady talked about her son. So I was like, is the son Roki's dad?
Wait, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
No, wait, at the house?
Yeah.
That's Boo's mom.
Oh, just kidding. I was like,
because JJ called and was like, he's like helping her. He's like giving her information. And he's like, they saw her there in the red truck with like another dude that was not Boo. And that's his mom.
Okay. Never mind. It's not Roki's dad's mom. So then that lady threatens her like with a gun to get the fuck out. And she gets out. But then this younger girl is like, hey, I just want to tell you that Tawi used to come to the house with a man in a red truck. So now she has a hint that there's a red truck. And so once they're back in the car, Jax says they need to get off the road for a while. So she goes to like a random vacant house and they hang out there. And then Jax calls JJ and then she hangs up and throws her phone in the pool because I think she can tell they're trying to track her phone or something. Yeah. And then Jax goes to sleep and she wakes up to Roki telling her that she started her first period. Yeah. And then they do like a ritual with ash on Roki's hands, and then she like washes them in the pool. And then they go out to eat to celebrate. It's like a little celebration. And I love this. I wish that more people did celebrations when you like get your first period. Because I remember I was really excited when I got my first period because I felt like I'm a woman. I was 11. I was not a woman, but I felt like, oh my God.
You're like, yeah.
And like my mom was like, oh, sucks for you. Now you're going to have to experience this like I do, you know? But I wanted there to be like a celebration.
Like, oh my God, you got it.
Yeah. And so then they go to get period products and I just sidebar had to mention that I think it's really fucking stupid that you have to pay for period products. We didn't choose to bleed. Yeah. They should be provided for free.
They should be
so
free.
This is dumb. So anyway, Roki bled through her pants. She did steal some products from the store.
Oh yeah, she was trying to, and Jax was like, no, not this place.
Don't steal from there. Anyway, they get stopped by what we think is just a regular cop at first. So I was like, oh, they're going to get busted for shoplifting. No, they got stopped by ICE.
Yeah, fuck ICE.
And ICE is just obviously just being racist. He's like, oh, look at these brown people coming out of the store. What's your name? What's your ID? Blah, blah, blah. And so then Jax gives Tawi's ID because she knows that she has like a record, so she doesn't want to give her ID. And then the ICE agent like puts Roki in the car at some point, and like Roki is like sitting there and she like is looking at the gun. Like,
she's like holding it. Oh
anyway, then he lets them go and then they're like laughing as they walk away because Roki's like, I bled all over that guy's car. And so then they go to a hotel and Jax goes outside while Roki's showering and she calls JJ and she's like, you know, we need to be looking for a red truck. And then Jax is like, we need to get the truth for Roki. Like, it's so sad. She thinks that her mom is going to show up and there's no way she's going to show up. Yeah. And then Roki hears that. She's like, what the fuck? So then she's really sad. And so then we also go to the strip club, like cut to the strip club. JJ asks Sapphire about the red truck and she tells him there's a guy that used to party with the girls in Boo at the lake. And so JJ goes to the lake and then to the drug dealer Boo's store. And he asks Boo, have you heard from Jax? And to let him know. And then he asks, hey, you still have that boat? Can I rent your boat tomorrow or whatever? So
he's
I
like,
can
sure,
take it out.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, cool. And so he gives him the keys. And so JJ starts looking around the salvage yard and he finds a red truck. And then he opens the truck door and looks concerned, but they don't tell us what's happening.
But like, I guess it's like they found the red truck and he's like, I know. And it's like all like
but doesn't it look kind of dramatic when he like opens it? And then he's like
it makes it sound like
So I guess we know it's probably the right red truck. And so then we cut to Jax and Roki at another gas station. Roki goes into the bathroom. The clerk is like, oh fuck, I know them, and calls the cops. And then Roki hears him calling the cops and she takes out the gun and threatens him with it, but she doesn't know how to handle a gun and she accidentally shoots him. She shoots
this man. Thankfully, she doesn't kill him. It's just in the shoulder.
Yeah. And then Jax runs in because she hears the gunshot.
She's like, what the fuck?
And she's like, what the fuck? And then she's like, oh my God, call 911. So she like calls 911 for an ambulance. She's like, there's a guy that got shot here. I'm at this gas station. And then she's like, we have to run. Like, he's not going to die. It's only in the shoulder, but like, we can't be here.
Yeah.
And so she's like, they see a truck pull in. And so then they're like extra freaked out because they're like, they're going to see. So they like run out the back of the store by foot. And then Roki's like, oh my God, no, I forgot my bag. We need to go back. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me, Roki? Like, we can't go back.
She's like, no.
I'm going to go to prison. They are
Yeah.
saying I kidnapped you and now you shot someone.
She's
And
gonna,
I'm sure
you know,
she's going to take the blame
yeah.
for it. So she's going to go to prison like forever. And she's like, you know what? You lied to me about my mom. Like, I'm mad at you, basically. Like, you, then they do this thing that I thought was really important. They use their native language. I believe it's called Cayuga. The word for aunt in their language translates directly to small mother. She's like,
she's telling Jack, she's like, what does it mean? And she's like, because she's like, you're constantly putting me in these like dangerous situations. Yeah. And she's like, but I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to do the best I can. But she's like, no, you're like my mother, you know? So like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. And so that was kind of like an intense type of moment. And then they kind of separate. Like Roki runs the other way.
She's like, yeah.
So Jax is like, oh, okay, I guess she's really going back for her bag. Yeah. And so Jax keeps running. And then we cut to seeing Grandpa Frank and Nancy. And Nancy answering the phone and telling Frank they found her. Yeah. And then we cut to Jax all alone on a bench smoking. And she pulls out a satchel that she has. I think it's like a protection satchel.
Yes.
And she empties some out and she starts singing and calling for Tawi. And then she drops the contents on the ground and then she's just crying. And then she calls the grandpa and he says he needs her to get back. And he is like kind of crying, I think. He's like, I fucked it all up. I fucked it up.
Yeah.
And Jax is like...
she's like, oh, he's like, Roki, where's you and Roki need to get back?
Yeah, she's like,
what?
She's like, well, what is Roki? Whatever. They start talking about Roki and he's like, Roki's with you. And she's like, no.
She's like, they caught Roki back
They caught
there.
Roki. And so anyway, Roki is not with him. And so he tells her, okay, well, they found Tawi's body in the lake. Yeah. So basically, unfortunately, what I think we kind of all knew was going to happen, she's not coming back. She is dead. And so they found her body. And so she is like, dang, we need to find Roki. Yeah. And so Jax ends up hitching a ride to the powwow with a trucker and she finds Roki there. They end up... Oh, what were you?
No, I was gonna say like how, because she doesn't dance during the mother-daughter thing. She dances for the memorial of like all the missing Native women and the ones that have been murdered. And I was like,
I know, it's so sad.
So she like kind of, I feel like she knows, and then that's when Jack sees her and she's like, oh my God. And then they dance together
at the missing and murdered.
Yeah. And I love it too, because like even with Jax, doesn't, like, you can tell obviously she doesn't do that with Roki and Tawi, but she knows.
Yeah, and like, she's small mother, so she's like, I need to step in.
I need to do that.
Okay, so I could not stop crying. And I wrote, Jax is probably going to prison, which... Wow, I'm a downer. But this is true. I wrote, Jax is probably going to prison, which means that Roki will have lost her mother and her small mother. Yeah. I mean, she can still contact Jax like through letters and visit her, but she's probably going to have to live with her grandpa Frank and Nancy if Jax goes to prison. So that was the end. It was sad. It was like realistic, real life things that happen. But I like that even though we knew that it was going to not turn out well, they ended in sort of like I thought it was a good ending, like not positive, but also not like
not like crazy.
Like they were really like connecting.
Yeah.
And that I think Roki really understands her mom's not coming back. Yeah. Even though they haven't officially told her. Yeah.
She like,
yeah. So that was really sad, you guys. Sorry I made everybody watch. Hopefully you watched it. Watch and listen to this sad movie, but I think it's really good and I think it's really important. I don't think that there are enough movies or shows that are about Native Americans. If you're looking for something that is meaningful about Native Americans, but also a little bit lighthearted, watch Res Dogs.
That one's really
Oh my
good.
God, you haven't watched it? It's so good. I watched all the seasons. At first I was like, am I too old for this? Because they're like teenagers, but like it's really good. And Brandon Boyd from Incubus is in it at one point, and he plays like a homeless man that looks like Jesus, so they call him White Jesus. So every time we hear Incubus, we're like, White Jesus! Anyway.
You're like on a lighter note.
Yes! I'm like, watch it. It's good. And then there was another thing recently, I can't remember. We saw one of the young actors from that in something else, and we were like, oh my God, it's a guy from Res Dogs. Anywho, so we'll go to another lighter thing. So I thought about not doing a Munch Merge Murder for this because it's so serious, and I was like, how are we going to talk about this? But
and then we're like Munch Merge Murder.
Yeah, but I need to because I also needed to obviously talk about how hot I think Jax is.
Yeah.
So we're still going to do it, okay? It might be kind of obvious what the answers will be.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I think the options I put
are Jax, Ricky, and Nancy?
I meant to put Sapphire because I think...
Instead of Nancy?
Yes. Because obviously
I
we
feel
would
like
kill Nancy.
Nancy's but then, okay.
Oh, but now we have to kill someone we like.
Yeah, see?
Okay, sorry. Well, I'll give you time to think about it. I'll say mine
okay,
first.
yeah, do yours first.
So, I would merge with Jax. I could change her, you know, like I know she's kind of a fuckboy lesbian, but I could be the one.
Are you gonna support her through prison?
Yes! Oh my God, I'm gonna be a prison
You're
wife.
a prison wife.
Oh my God, I would be on Love during lockup. And when she finally gets out, we're gonna be on Love after lockup. Oh my God, we make so much money. And I would munch Sapphire, and I guess I would kill Ricky. Not because I don't think that she's a good person, but because they barely showed her. I'm not even sure if that was her name. I think it was. Because
Ricky
when I
is her
looked up
name,
the cast. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry.
You're like, we're getting it right this time.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Honestly, my answers are the same. Merge with Jax, munch Sapphire, and then sadly murder Ricky, just because there's not enough screen time. So
she was kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
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 Whoops. Okay. So what would you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 5 cherries?
This was a really good movie, and I obviously am overlooking the fact that it was not gay enough. I feel like, but for a good reason. Like you said, like it's just showing someone, like it's just showing real life and somebody who happens to be a lesbian. I give this 5 out of 5 cherries.
Oh my God. Me too. It's a bigger deal that Angelina did that because I don't think you've given anything. Wait, did you? Did you give?
No, I gave something a 4.5.
Okay.
Right? No.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll go back and see, but I don't think so. Maybe I'm being really critical.
Yes. Okay. But this was a really good movie. And when I
was.
saw it, I kept telling people about it. And I think I already talked about this at the beginning of the episode, but it needs more attention than it got. It was really good. And I don't know if it's because it was an Apple TV movie that it didn't get as much attention. I don't know, but it was really good. I also would give it 5 out of 5. I love this movie. So if you are enjoying But I'm a Lesbian, please head over to our Instagram and TikTok and follow to stay up to date on the newest episodes, hot takes, and gay news updates. Follow at But I'm a Lesbian on TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook. Okay, so sometimes we do WLW history, but this is kind of a special edition because it's not specifically WLW, but it is history. And everything is intersectional, right? If it isn't intersectional, it isn't justice. So where I'm going with this is I really want to tell you all, if you don't know, about what ICWA is, which is the Indian Child Welfare Act. It's mentioned in this, and it is very important. So let's go back to the 70s. So up until 1978, Native American children were being removed from their homes by Child Protective Services at like extremely high rates in comparison to other races. And I mean, basically, it's based on racism. It's based on not understanding other cultures. I mean, I think, still to this day, there are higher rates of Native American children being removed, higher rates of Black children, higher rates of Latinx children than there are of white children being removed. And this is something that, from working in CWS in the past is being worked on and constantly looked at. And like, how can we be more culturally sensitive? Like, I know that there's a training that we did with new social workers about just different marks in different cultures, and how some people of non-white races are more prevalently born with this specific type of birthmark. I can't remember what it's called, but a lot of kids were getting removed because they were like, you beat your kid. Like, he has bruises on his butt. But it's a specific type of birthmark that some children with like darker skin are born with, and it fades over time. So
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes. So I was glad that was mentioned because I had never heard of that. But I think it's because that was something in the past that had come up where people were removing them, and it was
because they thought a birthmark. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, wow, my voice did a weird thing. But so, I mean, probably a lot of you know this, but years and years ago, Native American children were removed and they were put into schools where they had to only learn English and they had to assimilate with white culture. And a lot of the languages and cultures were really lost for a lot of people. And that was also happening when they were being removed from by Child Protective Services. They were being placed with mostly white families. So they were losing their culture in that way. So in 1978, the Indian Child Welfare Act was introduced and approved, made law. And what it does is whenever a child is removed in anywhere in America by Child Protective Services, it's required that the parents and the family, any family that they can get in contact with, are asked if there's any association with any tribe. Are they Native American in any way? What could the tribes be? And they have to do a whole search for anybody in that tribe and try to connect them with it and have them placed with someone within the tribe. And so
before like all the other
yes. Okay. So it's it is why Jack said at one point, you can't do this. You can't take Indian kids and put them with somebody else. They have to stay with family. And they said, well, he is family. He's the grandpa. So that was kind of like a way around it because he is related, but he's not, keeping her connected with her culture that is so important to her. So there is a thing within foster care. Kids, we would always try to place with a relative, but there's also something called a non-related extended family member that could be a family friend, that could be someone that is a member of the same tribe, someone else that lives like, it can be like a neighbor. Like sometimes that happens where if a kid is older, right, they're like a teenager, they're like, well, can I live with like my best friend? Her mom said that I could live with them. And then that if that parent agrees, they have to apply and go through all the same things to be a foster parent like Jax had to do. But like you can become their foster parent.
You know what I was thinking too, now that you said that, like the extended, even like they're saying obviously Frank and Auntie because that's her grandpa. I guess it's like the obvious answer, but why not with JJ? That's her uncle.
I know.
Right? But is it because he's like too busy working on the case?
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Know.
Like,
is it also this like structural and internalized racism
Yeah,
that
they're
not
like the
realizing.
white
They're like, she'll
family
be safer
member.
because look, they have this like nice house and
Yeah.
they're white. I don't know, but basically, I just wanted to talk about what ICWA is because it is a central part of the movie, and Native American kids are to be placed with family or a non-related extended family member that is a member of their tribe, or if they can't find someone from their specific tribe, at least someone that is Native that can help them. That is always the goal. And another thing is that reunification is always the goal. I mean, I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but that's something that we always talked about in my county. We're always trying to get the parents to do what they need to do to be able to get their kids back, because the kids want to be with their parent.
Yeah.
Even if their parent was not making good choices, right? They love their mom. They want to be back with them. So that is always the goal. So I can maybe put some resources about ICWA in the captions, in the details. So y'all can learn more if you'd like. But thank you so much for tuning in to this very serious episode of But I'm a Lesbian. We are your go-to for sapphic media reviews, WLW drama, and unfiltered queer takes. And if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe on any and every platform. Leave us a review to help support the queer community and keep this lesbian-led pod thriving. After all, the algorithm's a bitch and we're just two lesbians with mics trying to survive. Also, I need to point this out. A bunch of homophobes gave us 1 star before we even released an episode. So if you liked this, please give us a higher rating, because they like bombed our ratings before we even released anything. I don't know how that
you're
happened.
like gonna be famous when you have haters.
I know. I was like, okay, like
you're like,
who are these people? So please, if you liked it, please rate us a little higher. Anywho,
make sure to tune in next week. We will be discussing the Perfume of Memory, a 2016 Brazilian WLW film available on YouTube.
See you next Tuesday. Executive producers for But I'm a Lesbian are Caitlin Beatty and Angelina Herrera. Produced and mixed by Victoria Shiflett. Creative direction and video editing provided by Juanita Iriarte. Music by Stiletto Falsetto.